Men have been lied to about the nature of women, but thankfully, some men have woken up to the scam. Men are always told to be nice, polite, respectful, and even to enter the friend zone to get a woman's affection. That's just the worst thing a man can do to get women. 99.9% of women who put a guy in the friend zone will keep him there for life unless she's drunk. But yeah, if we're honest, that guy will be used as an emotional tampon while Chad is smashing her. This channel is all about helping men navigate today's world, so listening to the following insights is a huge W.
You've got a video there which I wanted to ask you about, how to shit test a woman. I've never heard that phrase before, being a Brit.
Yeah.
But why do you think so many people are asking for this content on, women and dating? Where's this all come from, do you think?
I think it's come from a lot of areas. I think that, there's this prevailing notion today that our granddads had to work half as hard for women that were twice as good as what we have available to us today, right? Women today have social media, and even an average looking woman with filters and good makeup and lighting and a push-up bra can put out good photography on an Instagram and get the attention of a lot of people. They can use good photography on dating apps and get the attention of a lot of guys. Women get far, far more matches and attention on dating apps than what men do today. About 80% of the women are struggling to get the attention of the top 20% of guys. And that means the rest of the guys are pretty much invisible. If they're a 7 or 8 out of 10 or lower, they're going to struggle to get the attention of attractive women that they want to be with in today's world. So there's a lot of, this is a large puzzle with hundreds of pieces. And it's really difficult to know where to start, but it seems obvious to me at this stage that the reason why people have an appetite for this information is because what they've been given their entire lives hasn't worked. They've been told, just be a nice guy, be a shoulder to cry on. Like, how many guys do you know that try to win the affection and the love of a woman by entering the friend zone? They just try to be their friend. And then when that completely goes sideways and then she runs off to try to be with Mr. Exciting, and Mr. Reliable sitting there with his hands in his pocket playing pocket pool, wondering why she's with Chad, that night instead of him. So I think men and women in general, not just men, but I think men and women have been let down and lied to as far as what the other sex responds to and gets the results to where they're looking at that are aligned with their goals, if I can put it that way.
And what are those wounds in the relationships that you've had that you've been able to turn into this education?
Well, I think divorce is certainly one of them. I talked about it in my book. I have a chapter in my book on why smart men don't marry today. So anybody that hasn't been divorced doesn't know this, but you tend to sort of approach it from the angle of, right, I found somebody I love. She loves me. We've met each other's family. We've traveled. We're going to take some vows together in sickness and health and richer and poorer and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And we'll raise a family and we'll be together forever and ever until kingdom comes, sort of thing. But it doesn't always work out that way. And marriage as a proposal for men, because when you get married today, you essentially invite the state into your home. They become the governors of your relationships. They become the governor of your assets. They become the governor of what happens to you, your access to your own children if you have to untie the knot. So things have changed dramatically, and it's very difficult. It's misunderstood, and you don't understand it until you go through it. And that's when the fog of war is lifted and you see what you deal with. So, if you took a classroom full of graduating students from high school and let them sit in a divorce court for an afternoon to watch how fathers got treated, I think you'd probably find if you interviewed them afterwards, there'd be a lot of interesting conversations and surprises that they would want to talk to you about. But it's one of those things that there's not a lot of conversations about today.
And so why don't smart men get married now then?
There's not a lot of benefit to it, at this point in time when it comes to Western marriage. It's high risk and generally low reward for men. It's low risk and high reward for women. Women tend to marry across and up on the socioeconomic scale. They've always done that. That's why women are called hypergamous. So that's not a bug, it's a feature of women. If they didn't marry competent men, if they didn't invite competent men or want to reproduce with competent men, the chances of them surviving or their offspring surviving would be quite low. So women tend to marry men of a higher caliber than themselves. That's why it's common for a $40,000 a year hairdresser to marry Steve, the VP of the sales team at the large Fortune 500 company.
As always, Rich drops knowledge bombs and debunks the good-sounding narratives that claim that women tolerate a man's vulnerability. Plus, back in the day, marriage could have made sense, but as of today, it's the deadliest contract you can sign as a man. Smart men don't marry, and if they do, at least they want a prenup or put their assets under another name, just like Ashraf Hakimi. Consult your financial advisor for more information though. Let's take a look at the comments. Shoulder to cry on made me laugh out loud. So true. You end up alone with a wet shoulder, she's still gonna sleep with the bad boy instead. Thanks so much for your videos. Young guys, you will never get a girl being in her friend zone, clinging on as a servant. It destroys your status. It's pathetic. I've been with my wife since she was 18. I've probably seen maybe 3 of her friends have guys try to get in as a friend/orbiter during college. All came to me for advice. One I recall saying, "Dude, she's not that cool. You can do better." Back then, girls had a hard time telling a nice guy to get out of their life. Our grandfathers had to work half as hard for a woman who was twice as good as we have today. We also have to work 10 times the time to afford 1/10 of the things they were able to afford with minimal effort. In Canada, just living together for 6 months makes it to where they nail you under common law. I literally took myself out of the dating pool altogether because all you end up doing is giving a lot of your built wealth away to exes. Don't get me started on being a male in Canada and the justice system for child support/visitation rights and whatnot. I'm now 50, and although by nature it's hard to stay 100% away from females, I know it's the right choice as for now I can actually enjoy some of the fruits of my labor. Never be in the friend zone. If she ain't giving you the box, you need to be billing for the things she comes to you for. If she ain't coming to you with food, money, fun, sex for when she pings you, then she doesn't get your time, attention, effort, favor, and tell her that. I went through a single mom period and I can't tell you how many times they mentioned their added income from their ex monthly in a way where it would benefit her and a relationship, not even mentioning their kids. That did it for me. It started long ago, not just yesterday. I am 6'4", aloof, charismatic, buff guy, what kids call Chad these days, and yet even I had my problems getting really hot women that aren't a headache even back in the 90s. After I embraced the whole Sigma male/semen retention concept and quit prawn and chasing women, after the expected testosterone overload spike was over, I noticed a gradual urge recession to have anything to do with women at all, and so I quit dating altogether. Over a decade ago. Never been happier. I could only imagine how worse women and dating have become since the introduction of Instagram. You can say that again. Anyways guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video guys. Till next time.